It's basically a culture of doing things in a principled way to ensure there's sustainability in the company and the company is well run. That's what comes to my mind. Sustainability, having principles and governance in place to ensure we build institution and not just people. Because people will always, come in and go, but even the structure, the systems, the institution itself must actually, stay, right? So ensuring we do the very hard work of having the framework, right, being actually erected, so once you have someone who is actually, above average, talented person coming to the institution, the person has no choice but to make the place better, right? Maybe quarterly you have your board meetings. You have to actually also have your board, committee meetings, board audit, board risk management committee meeting, board governance meeting before your proper board meeting. So all those structures, is beyond just one person. There's a saying in political science. When I was at university, I took an elective in political science. It says power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So just the way human beings are, you can't give one person too much power. The person has a tendency of actually misusing the opportunity. So having corporate governance, in place, right, protect that individual, right, and ensure that institution can actually, live over time and be sustainable. That's where I say it. The way I look at good governance, right, I'll see it from the direct opposite of a bad governance, right? Good governance is actually having rules and regulations in place, right, by way of policies, and ensuring those policies are actually adhered to. If you don't adhere to those policies, if you may have the best policies in place, right, and you don't adhere to it, that's actually also marking your way out for failure. So ensuring you have good governance, basically having sound, policies in place, and ensuring those policies are implemented, appropriately. That's where I say. So you have all, right now we have, in my institution, we have several policies, even, some people are like, this is a lot, but that's the way we have to run. You have policies that has to do with even just appointments of directors, policies that has to do with just staff policy, sanction grade, policy, disciplinary policy, all kinds of policies, that we have in place. But you just ensure those things are there, because it's like when you have a country and you don't have a constitution, how do you want to govern? Right? How do you want to govern? So basically, sound, corporate governance, ensuring that you have those policies in place and they're ingrained across the whole divide, from the board to the management. There must be policies in place, and again, everyone should actually, there's actually, read the policies and abide to the framework of the policies. That's what I believe, sound policy. And again, leadership start from the top. Right. So, everybody, even though, you read it, you implement it, you must actually also walk in that same direction, because everyone is watching, right, from the top also. So the people below you will also watch, so you must ensure those things are actually kept. That's where I say it. I'll just use examples. I've been working in the banks in Nigeria. There's actually policies around in banks, third party, lending, or related party lending, right? And that, for instance, is a policy, and I believe maybe a director or any of his companies must not actually, right, be exposed to a certain amount of money, right, from that particular bank, right? So it starts from there. So what, if the policy says the director should not be exposed to the bank for more than 100 million naira, right? And you have a director or his sister company, right, being exposed to that bank to the tune of about 500 million or 1 billion naira, that's already against the policy. That's bad corporate governance. You understand? So you basically what you are trying to basically put in paper in black and white, right? And again, your company secretary sees it, who also is the management staff. The MD CEO sees it, right? And again, the head of credit risk sees it, right? The head of corporate banking sees it, right? They all see it, and the all management staff, and even other directors also see it, and they just take their faces away. You're basically just like, building up yourself for failure, because already what you're saying that you shouldn't do based on your policy, you're already working against it from day one. So that's a typical example of bad corporate governance. It's a tough thing. Don't get me wrong, it's tough, but it's something that is always very difficult to do. But if you get it right and you do it well, then that institution is actually out to outlive itself. And again, people will be happy for it, But most time, what we see is we just basically say one thing with our mouth, and we do the other thing, behind. So that's where I say it. I mean, there's no doubt about it, right? We see that imperative need, right, for ethical corporate governance in all that we do, in the private sector, right, in the government institutions, in the public sector. It's a must. It should be part of our DNA. I mean, the reason Singapore, right, is where they are right now is because someone just stood and said, something, we can't continue to live this way, right? We need to be changing narratives for our future generation, right? So, I mean, back to your question, it's something that we must all just ensure we do because the benefit far outweighs, the cost, right? I've gone through several cycles of bank failures in Nigeria. And when you look at everything, it's all about bad governance, and it starts from the top. Because the people, the management staff, they all say it, right? So you ask yourself, what exactly, right? Why do you want to fast track this company's failure? What is wrong in just basically living steadily over time and ensuring this company grows, right, and is sustainable over time, than just within 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 years, just bring the company down by way of reckless and bad corporate governance. So there's so much, values, there's so much benefit, to that particular attribute of ensuring good corporate governance, because it's actually, the company stays over time, management benefit, the directors benefit, all the stakeholders also benefit. Even the regulator does not want to actually wake up one morning and start seeing, customers lining up in front of a bank, asking for their money back, and nobody can pay. So the benefits, is actually, it's how will I say it? It's a lot, for anyone to actually see. And again, one good thing about it is that once the company itself has good corporate governance, all the other subsidiaries of that company, right, will surely have the same DNA, right, of the group. We've seen that over time play out. I mean, the company where I work for is a subsidiary of a big insurance company in Nigeria, right? And the DNA of that group is the same DNA we also have in the subsidiary and across other subsidiaries. But once you see, a lot of recklessness coming out from the group, then the subsidiaries will actually also have the same, recklessness in the way they do things. So it's something that, you can't just quantify. It's a lot, both in, quantitative and also qualitative. The values far outweighs, the cost. The benefits are just, a lot. My advice, is a Chinese proverb, that would say something like about, it's not about how fast, but it's about how well, right? If you want to actually, have a well-run institution to outlive generations, right? Then my advice is imbibe good corporate governance. You start from there, right? I mean, just this week, we had palliatives being implemented in my organization based on the rise in fuel prices, in Nigeria, right? And we're like, if you find this thing that we want to do, we can't just, add it to staff salary immediately, but let's actually just, do it as a credit, to them. But again, in ensuring there's actually transparency, let's look at various bands, right? So maybe up to deputy manager, some amount of money, up to like AGM, some amount of money, then GM and above, some amounts of money. All transparent, right? It was done by management, sent out to the board of directors during our meeting. It was approved, right? Sent to the company secretary. She also, sent it to the head of human resources. Then it was actually implemented. The staff are happy, right? But it wasn't just done anyhow. It was done in a structured manner. Anybody come tomorrow, regulator, consult, anyone come, they will see the transparency, why it was done, and the need for it. So, just ensuring you do things right. There's no need for any form of shortcuts. Shortcuts will always, make the company go down, down the line. But if you do it well, it becomes sustainable over time, and we're all happy for it. And the staff also, they are motivated. Thank you.